Now, I know we all have one of those uncles or crazy cousins or maybe even your grandma that gets way too hammered during the holidays, am I right? Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I know we all like to pop open a couple brewskis and get litty. I mean, it's almost sacrilegious if you don't. Now, personally, my family has never really been big into drinking, but I have had tons of friends over the years. So when it comes around to the holidays and I say their family gets wasted, I mean like GTA wasted. And it never failed because every time it was time to go home, all the cousins and uncles that were completely wasted out of their mind would always come out with the line that, don't worry, I drive better when I'm drunk. Now, the percentage of people who would actually be able to say that sentence and it actually be true is like so small, like it's tiny. It's not even, almost non-existent, all right? It's almost impossible. And I just know that there's someone watching this who's thinking like, nah, bro, for reals. I have an uncle who give him, 3 or 4 shots of tequila and he's gonna be driving even with his eyes closed. He's one with the road, like that guy from Talladega Nights.
You gotta feel the road. You gotta let it leave inside you.
And in the very, very rare case where there is someone who does perform quite well while intoxicated behind the wheel, that's probably because that person is too far gone already. I mean, you would have to label that person as a functional alcoholic. But what about functional canaholics? Because I even remember the first time that I got high and got behind the wheel, and trust me guys, I do not condone that whatsoever. It's just me expressing my past experiences. But back in the day, I really did believe that I was better behind the wheel after a couple tokes. And I think my biggest reasoning behind that was because I've always been somewhat of like a nervous driver. I think a lot of people kind of suffer from that. And when I would get high, obviously a lot of my anxiety getting behind the wheel would kind of just fade away. And my own little, teenage thought that I was getting better at driving because I had more focus and less anxiety when it comes to actually doing the driving. And even now to this day, I mean, I believe that kind of has some merit to it. And I kind of wanted to just make this video to see if you guys kind of have the same thoughts or not. And then while doing some research, I kind of stumbled upon this article, which kind of brings a lot of different points to light that I think are really important when going over this topic. So let's go ahead and jump right into this article and let's get talking. So now I bring you guys over here to this article right here by the New York Times, written by Danny Blum. Okay, so shout out to her. The question here is, I know all about the dangers of driving while drunk, but is driving while high on marijuana as dangerous? So let's see. Right here it says, any form of driving while intoxicated is obviously a bad idea. Clearly, obviously it's not the best idea, but smoking a joint or taking an edible before getting behind the wheel can pose distinct risks, okay? But I like what it said right here, towards the second paragraph right here. It says, with alcohol, there are usually, I can't read right now, goddammit. There are universally accepted quantities for what constitutes a single drink. 12 ounces of regular beer, 5 ounces of wine, 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. There's no agreed upon equivalent for cannabis. And I do think that can pose a pretty good argument for stuff like, the legal limit when it comes to, like, say, alcohol. I know it's 0.08, I believe. And for cannabis, there's really no way you can test for something like that, right? For someone, smoking, one joint can be a whole lot more than, let's say, one bowl. But it probably still gets you close to the same amount of high. So I feel like it's kind of hard to really quantify how high someone is, especially when it comes to different tolerances. I know it's the same thing with alcohol, but I think when it comes to marijuana, it's a lot more variables when it comes to trying to quantify what is the legal limit or what is actually safe or not safe. Now, heading back into the article, it says right here, during the past decade, car accidents involving cannabis have been rising, and recreational use of the drug continues to climb. A recent analysis of the U.S. public safety data showed that from 2000 to 2018, the percentage of motor vehicle fatalities involving cannabis more than doubled from 9% to 22%. By contrast, the percentage of fatalities involving alcohol stayed roughly the same during this period. Now, I think what answers a lot of that huge percentage is going to be in this next part of this article right here. As you can see right here, it says, studies like these often rely on drivers who were drug tested after car crashes. But because cannabis can hang around in fatty tissues for up to 28 days, a positive drug test does not necessarily mean that the driver was high at the moment they were driving. This can lead to the imprecise measures of how cannabis actually affects a person's ability to drive. It is also tricky for marijuana users to predict how exactly they'll be impaired and for how long. If you smoke a joint or let's say take a bong hit, you will feel high within minutes, maybe even seconds, depending on how good your shit is, and then return to a base level after 3 or 4 hours. Dr. Pearson said, if you opt out for a brownie or a gummy, it may take longer for the high to kick in since the marijuana in edibles has to be absorbed into the gut and metabolized through your liver. So, it's very difficult to predict how long that high will last. So, there's a lot of different variables when it comes to marijuana and the high and how everything goes down when it comes to how sober you might be as a person. And even right here, it says that the psychoactive effects of cannabis can also make driving very dangerous. All right, there's another video I'll make very soon about the psychosis of cannabis. All right, how can cannabis cause psychosis or psychoactive effects on your mind? And it's gonna be a banger of a video, so stay tuned for that one. But the paranoia that some people experience while high could induce a panic attack while on the road. Weed can create an altered sense of time, the sludgy sense that everything around you is moving slower than it actually is. They call them like marijuana minutes. I've experienced that multiple times in my life. There's that joke, why did you get pulled over? He said, if you're speeding, it's because of the alcohol. If you're going too slow, it's because of the cannabis. So, with all that being said, man, what are your guys' thoughts on cannabis and driving? I mean, I don't condone any use of any type of substance and then getting behind the wheel. Okay, I believe that it is, well, one, it's illegal, and two, it could pose a risk and could be very dangerous if not done properly and handled by, can you guys hear that? It's going crazy outside. But if it's not handled correctly and not done, in a very safe manner. Alright, man. And so with all that being said, I kind of want to pass the question on to you guys. What do you guys think? Do you think that there will ever be like a legal limit when it comes to like say marijuana or other types of recreational drugs, or do you think there's no way to tell and it's just gonna be illegal no matter what? So let me guys know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys like, subscribe. Ton of new videos and even rolls coming out very soon. I love you guys. Make sure you guys stay safe and sexy. Stay puffin'. Peace.